Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode, the first episode of the new year of the Diz Unplugged, coming to you live from the Bob Varley studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined this week by a lesser number of people, but no less great. My good friend from BigFatPanda.com, Mr. John Sakari, and my producer, Mr. Craig Williams.
Oh, hoy, hoy.
Because of all the craziness happening in Florida and around the country right now with a spike in cases, I've decided to limit the number of people that we bring into the studio. So that's why there's three of us. But we're still going to have a great conversation. Before we get into that, just a couple of things. First of all, if you're watching us on YouTube, please do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button for me. And also subscribe if you haven't subscribed to our channel. That thumbs up really helps us out a lot with the YouTube algorithm, and I would appreciate that. And also this show, along with all the shows that we do, brought to you by DreamsUnlimitedTravel.com, of which I am one of the owners. If you like our content, if you like what we do, then please show your support and book your vacation, your next Disney vacation with Dreams Unlimited Travel, because that is how we pay for this. And also just a reminder to our Patreon supporters. Stay tuned after this for the Patreon after show. We've been doing a lot of great stuff with Patreon. I'm doing my solo shows. I'm doing a live stream every Saturday night. I did a couple of news shows for Patreon exclusive while we were on hiatus. We got a lot of great content that we produce besides what goes up on our channels. So if you're interested in joining us on Patreon, it's patreon.com/DizUnplugged. And we also should probably push the power of 10. The last show that we did was our marathon show, and on December 11th, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And I announced the start of the power of 10. Which is where I'm looking for, how many people did I say? 100,000? I want 100,000.
Wasn't it 10? I don't remember.
100,000 people to ask 10 friends to donate $10 to give kids the world. And we'll make sure in the show notes below this, we'll put a link to where you can sign up to do that. This is how we're raising money. We're going to be doing a lot of cool things on this channel throughout the year to help raise money. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. But help us out. Help us out with that. Okay, so as I sit here in a half-empty studio, I'm about to rant.
Do it.
I'm about to rant a little bit about the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, saying that you should avoid cruise travel regardless of vaccination status.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. I'm going to talk about Disney because that's the cruise line I have experience on. John and Kevin have done some other cruise lines in the last few months. I've done Disney twice. I have a Disney cruise scheduled for the end of January with my family, which I'm going on. And the reason I'm going is because I have the benefit of having had the experience of watching how they handle COVID, how they handle their testing. Everyone's vaccinated getting on the ship.
Tested. Everyone's vaccinated and then tested.
Tested before you get on the ship.
So the only way that they have it is if they contracted it prior to getting on the ship and have not yet tested positive, I'm guessing.
Right.
Which is very rare. I mean, go to Publix.
Excuse me. As I hack up a lung. I do have a cold, and I have tested twice negative, so I do not have COVID, thank God. But something we were talking about right before we started, we're all going to get it.
Yeah.
We're all going to get it.
I was saying to people today that we have to change the way we're thinking about it. We can't avoid it at this point. I don't think, we should try. We should all take precautions. But the way this one spreads, everybody's getting it. It's even in the water. I don't know that I'm drinking bottled water just in case. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to go out of my way to get it, but I'm vaccinated and boosted, and they're saying that if you are vaccinated and boosted and you get COVID, it is much less severe. And you know what? I get, and look, and I'm in a high risk group. I'm overweight. I have high blood pressure. I'm diabetic. I'm in a high risk group. I'm going on my damn cruise. I'm going on my cruise. I'm a little up to here.
Yeah. You got to live.
I'm going to take precautions like I'm doing in the studio right now. I'm not going to be stupid. But at the same time, I thought this was a bit of an overreaction on the part of the CDC.
Unless you want to add, don't go out of your home because
Right, because by their standards, I want to know when the CDC is going to announce don't go to Publix. Because I don't have to show a vaccine card or get tested to walk into Publix. And I'm going to tell you something, half the people walking around Publix aren't even wearing masks.
Correct.
So I don't know.
Just to build on what you said about the double vaccination and boosting, my dad just in New York, mid-80s, high risk. He's got ailments since he was 40. Got COVID, went to the hospital. I got really nervous because, Dad. But fine. It looks like he's coming home Thursday. And I'm telling you, if he didn't get that double vaccination, I don't think this would have ended the way it did. So if it's giving someone like him, if he's getting over it that quick, I do think the vaccinations are definitely helping.
I think they are too. But at the same time, we have been living in abject fear of this virus. And especially last year before vaccines were available. Understandably so, because a lot of people have died.
Yeah.
And so I'm not taking this seriously. I'm just speaking for myself. I'm not judging anyone else's personal decisions and how they handle this. There is no wrong here. Okay? Well, there are some wrongs, but I'm not going into that. Generally speaking, if you look at, cruise line and say, no, I'm not going, that's a perfectly valid decision. Disney has changed their cancellation policy where you can move your cruise to a future date. I think it's within 10 days of sailing and not get any penalties. So you are allowed to move these sailings. Now listen, our sailing is what, the
21st.
21st? 21st to the 24th. It's a 3-night. So as of, January 11th, if we say, hey, you know what, I'm going to wait. I'll tell you what, I just upgraded my stateroom. I called yesterday and I saw they had a 1-bedroom available in concierge and I upgraded my stateroom.
Ooh.
So I'm doubling down. I have sailing scheduled on all 5 Disney ships this year. The Dream, the Fantasy, the Magic, the Wonder, and the Wish. And I'm going on all of them. I'm not going to be stupid. I'm going to wear my mask. I'm going to social distance. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to sanitize.
Do we know what other cruise lines are doing? Are other?
I
Cruise
really
lines?
haven't been following it. I mean, a lot of them are doing similar things to Disney, and I don't think it's about necessarily I don't think it's just about the testing and the vaccination status getting on the ships. I don't think it's just about that. I think it's about the protocols on board. And, Disney's been very strict.
Yeah.
Very strict. If they see you walking around with a chin diaper, the cast members are not shy. Please pull your mask up.
Yeah, they're good about the restaurants too. They don't let you in unless you wipe your hands.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're on you.
They'll hunt you down.
They will.
They'll hunt you down.
Others, little lax. I've been on cruises.
Oh
where
yeah,
it's
Royal Caribbean.
Royal Caribbean is.
Yeah, take it or leave it.
We don't care.
But I don't know. I'm just going to be real. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of staying home. I'm tired.
I agree.
And I don't want to be, like I said, I don't want to be stupid about it. I realize there are precautions to take. But for me, personally, and I speak only for myself, like I said, not judging anybody else's decisions. For me personally, those precautions do not include not going on my damn cruise. I'm going on my damn cruise. I think that's going to become my tagline at the end of these shows. Instead of stay out of the damn lakes, I'm going on my damn cruise. Get a t-shirt made up with that. I'm going on my damn cruise. First of all, I got to tell you something. And we're going to talk about this a little later. An article that was on the Diz about appreciating the things you took for granted. My experiences on the ship, these last 2 cruises I've done, I did one in October, I did one the beginning of December, really brought that home for me. How I took for, I'm very fortunate in the job that I have. I've done 30, 40 plus cruises on Disney. And I did take it for granted. And it's like anything else. When it's taken away from you, you learn to appreciate it. And so every moment I'm on that cruise, I'm just like soaking it up, no matter what I'm doing. I want to like really look around and take it all in. The smells, the sights, the sounds, all of it. I love Disney Cruise Line. And I trust Disney Cruise Line. Not that they're going to be able to protect all of us from COVID or anything else. But I know that they're taking it seriously and they're going so far out of their way to make it safe and enjoyable. And it's not an easy job. And I got to give Tom Maslam, who's the president of Disney Cruise Line and Disney Signature Experiences, I got to give him huge props for the job he's done rebooting that product and, no pun intended, navigating the waters. Now you're coming on the cruise with me.
I can't wait.
At the end of the month.
I'm not nervous, and I'm a nervous one with the COVID. Not nervous about the cruise. Just not.
When was the last time you were on the cruise?
Oh, maybe 6 months before the pandemic. So a while ago. What, 2.5 years ago?
How many have you done?
4. I've done like 2.
He's a baby.
And I've done 2 Royal Caribbean, and I won't go back on Royal Caribbean after Disney. I can't. I've been spoiled.
See, I do like Royal. I do like Royal.
I have so many differences that I can go back to.
Yeah.
I mean, from the part. Listen, I order crispy bacon on Royal Caribbean. I say, "Can I get crispy bacon?" The waitress literally said to me, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's whatever they want to give you from the kitchen." I was like, "Whoa, that's different." On Disney, they brought me a plate of crispy bacon. So I just, it's different.
Don't screw with a fat guy and his bacon.
Do not. And at Royal Caribbean, before the buffet opened, I kid you not, this is true. They played Who Let the Dogs Out before the buffet opened for the people. And you may think that's funny, but I don't know. Right?
I think that's pretty funny.
No, but it's still insulting to. That's how they. I think it's funny if you felt that they respected you as a guest, but because I already was feeling like they didn't, when they played Who Let the Dogs Out, I was like, all right, I got how you're thinking about me. I got it. I just nothing sat well with me on Real. Their Coca-Cola machines, I couldn't get ice out of the machine. Disney, I just can't find a complaint. Even if I tried, I can't.
It's really difficult. Well, you're laughing back there.
I think it's hilarious. I'm sorry.
It is funny. But you
I
already
always
had
think there should be music at buffets, like Charge, like Reveille.
But watching all the old fat people be the first in line, go, Who let the dogs out? Woof. I was like, come on. And I was like, everybody was going to the food. I'm like, do we hear this? Is this okay?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I only speak for myself. I'm going. I'm going. And thank you, CDC. Information received. But
I have to believe
you can kiss my ass as it's walking on that ship.
I have to believe that other cruises for them to say we suggest you don't go on a cruise that's making sure you're vaccinated and tested. I got to think that other cruises maybe aren't following that protocol, because I just don't understand. I would first have to come out and say, don't go to a gym to work out first. There would have to be something else before that.
Yeah, no, it is what it is. It is what it is. But all right, now let's talk about Typhoon Lagoon and irony. So Typhoon Lagoon, when did it open, Craig?
January 2nd.
January 2nd. And promptly had to close for weather.
But
The
isn't
universe is telling you something, Disney.
Isn't the water heated? Is it really that? I mean, people would still go, I think.
I'll be honest. I don't remember what day that was, but yesterday. So yesterday, the temperature was not the hottest it's been, but in Florida, it can say, like right now, it says it's 72 outside. I don't believe there's a cloud in the sky. If there's no clouds and that sun is out, it might say 72, but it feels like it's in the 80s. And I know that part's a lot harder to judge in terms of temperature and water parks and all of that. But like yesterday, I was walking around Epcot sweating because of how the sun was beating down on me. I'm like, I would love to go into a pool or a water park right now. I mean, I don't do that because I don't like those where it grosses me out. But I'll do them every now and then for work. But it's not my ideal. But yeah, I don't. It's winter.
We're gonna send Craig to Typhoon Lagoon in a thong.
I'll watch. Okay.
Yeah, I was never weird about water parks growing up, and then it just like 2-3 years ago, it just hit, and I'm like, I don't think I care for this.
If you weren't a germaphobe 2 years ago, you are now.
Well, but they closed it for weather.
They closed it for weather.
I was at the Wilderness Lodge last night, and it was chilly, and there were people in the pool, so they would have gotten some people.
I don't know. But I just thought it was ironic.
And this is a warmer than usual January. Did they not?
Oh, it was cold this morning.
This morning was cold.
This morning was cold. When I got up, well, then again, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. It was like 50 degrees when I got up. And for us, now there are people in the Northeast right now, like throwing stuff at their computer. I understand. For us, 50 is cold.
60 is cold for us.
We're pulling the homeless in off the street at 50. What? But yeah, I just thought that was funny. Of course, also Magical Express now has gone the way of the dodo.
It was gone. Now, Magical Express was Mears, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So somebody told me, and I don't know if it's true, somebody told me that Mears was trying to raise the price that they were going to charge Disney, and that's why Disney canceled it, because they said, no, it's too much. We can't go for that.
It's possible, but I can't imagine if that were the reason that Disney couldn't have found an alternative. This did. I got to tell you something. They were stunned by people's reaction to losing Magical Express. They were stunned.
Really?
They were like, "Wait, what? You people like this?"
They loved it.
And I guess that was the handwriting on the wall that. We talk about how a lot of the changes happening right now are going over like a lead balloon with the fans, and it's falling on deaf ears. I guess that was our canary in the coal mine with that, because the outpouring of anger over the announcement. What was that? October of
last year.
Last year. Was it this past October?
No.
The one before.
We've known for a while, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
It was the one before, 2020. Ironically, that was also when I started noticing a lot more reservations coming in for Universal. When I look at where our spike in Universal reservations started, it started in October of 2020. And I said to some people that I talked to at Disney, I said, you're rolling the red carpet out.
Yeah, that's when the PR started to go south for Disney. Was then when
Yeah.
the Magical Express. I felt it in posts and stuff and what I was reading. Yeah.
Yeah. So now another company, Transportation Management Services, announced they are launching the Sunshine Flyer, a themed motor coach bus experience that will transport guests from Orlando International Airport to Walt Disney World resorts. Does not say here what the prices will be. Or maybe it does. Oh, $17. I'm sorry. Tickets are $17 per adult, $12.50 per child each way. And you can get information on that, sunshineflyer.com. And Mears Connect is also going to has already begun their own transportation service called Mears Connect.
Is it the same thing as Magical Express, basically, but you're paying separate?
I guess so.
Alright.
I guess so. But so there are some alternatives.
Yeah, $17 for adults each way, so $34 there round trip. That's not terrible for that, but at the same time, it all goes back to the fact that it was something that was included in the price of your vacation. That after you paid for that, you didn't think about it. It seemed like a free perk, even though.
It's $100, a family of four. It's, 2 adults, 2 kids. You're talking about $100
It's a meal,
round trip. That was free.
Yeah.
And, here we are again with this narrative. Things that were free now cost money.
Even more than it being free was the feeling that Disney had you. From the time you got to the airport, they hugged you, come on over. It was that. It's more than that $17. It's that feeling of they don't care anymore. And you don't want that.
Oh,
Yep.
and
Well, in the time that they first announced it and saw that, there was a clear outrage among people. Granted, maybe it was just on social media, so it's groups that Disney doesn't necessarily care about. But voices were loud about the news and about not being happy about it. Disney had a year to try to figure out a different solution, to try to work something out. They could have secretly raised prices in a different way to try to make up for the extra money that needed to happen to kind of keep a deal into it, but they just didn't do anything. They just let it happen the way that it did. And I haven't had the pleasure of taking Magical Express now since 2010 when I moved here. But it was a part of the vacation that we loved. When we rented a car, that was also nice because we could travel about in the own way that we wanted to. But there was also something about getting on that bus, the ease of knowing that your luggage gets checked in and the next time you'll see it is in your hotel room. There was that added convenience of it that even as a teenager, I was aware of, like, okay, this is cool. This is really nice. It's better than when you become an adult and then you travel somewhere else and you're like, oh crap, I have to figure out, I need to figure out how much luggage I want to bring because I have to haul that crap with me everywhere I go when I'm on vacation, and that's not always nice. So it's a shame. It's a shame.
yeah, it's one of those things that started when I lived down here, so I never got a chance to use it. Really, never had any reason to use it. But I knew people, like you said, it becomes part of your vacation.
I just knew it was seamless with the luggage, right? Didn't they take your luggage to your rooms? That I didn't use it either because I lived here, but I knew it was something people loved.
And
Tragical Express, they'd call it when they left. So it was an integral part of the vacation.
Tragical Express. yeah.
Tragical Express.
So yeah, it's gone, and now we'll see what will fill the void. Will it be Mears Connect? Will it be Sunshine Flyer? Will it be something else? Is it going to be a boon for companies like FLTours.com, the transportation company we recommend? Is it going to be a boon for them? For these, private transportation companies?
I mean, even rental cars aren't necessarily the answer unless it's a really great deal because you're paying for your car and then you're also paying for parking. At the hotels.
Yeah.
And it's just, unless you're DVC, but it's like, when does it stop? There is nothing I hate more than paying to park at a hotel. And I know it's necessary in some locations in California, big cities, but like, it shouldn't happen at Disney World. It really shouldn't. That's just my opinion, though.
No.
I agree.
But nonetheless, it does. All right. I'm running short here, Gregory. We may have to start taking some questions. There was an article posted on the Diz by one of our contributors, Sherry Kessler, called "What I Will Never Take for Granted at Disney Again." I thought this was a wonderful article. And kind of what we were talking about before, how, things you take for granted, once they're gone, even if it's only temporarily.
For me, it's just seeing the castle. Literally, I mean, I remember when the parks were closed thinking, I thought I could just go whenever I wanted. That's why I moved here from New York. And now you couldn't. So now back to when I go to Main Street and I turn and I see the castle, it's still childlike special to me because I remember, all right, they could take this away. This isn't I'm not entitled to this.
Yeah. Now, some of the things she mentions, a good meal out, sitting down at a Disney restaurant, enjoying a moment of relaxation with friends and family inside a park or resort restaurant is bliss. From Epcot's escapism into a different world to feeling like you leaped into a storybook land in the Magic Kingdom, sitting down for a wonderful Disney-themed meal is never to be taken for granted by me again. I remember that first meal after lockdown that I had. Now, it was at a steakhouse, here in Orlando. But I remember that feeling of, wow, I'm eating out. And this was only after like 3 months. But when do you go 3 months without going out to eat? And the point's well taken, though, that Disney restaurants, depending on which ones we're talking about, are special.
Yeah, I think it's bad to say that there was a benefit to the pandemic. There's not. But a lot of people learned to appreciate things more than we did in the past.
Well, the only way, I think, to deal with something like that is to take things like appreciation
100%
from it. Try and look for whatever positives you can find. It's a better use of energy
100%.
Than focusing on the negative.
Sure.
Annual passes. One of the things she mentions in this article. We'll have a link to this article in the show notes. When did we ever think? We live in a world right now where annual passes are not for sale.
It's crazy. McDonald's doesn't have French fries. That's
right.
It's crazy.
And I have to wonder. Somebody said this to me recently. They asked me if I thought Disney was creating artificial demand, taking them away, or maybe it was you.
I don't think I mentioned that, but I have thought.
Somebody has said that. Somebody recently said that to me. And I'm like, oh, no. And then after the conversation, I'm like...
Yeah, that's what I thought about it.
They are charging for FastPass now. So, is it out of the question?
You know how they put things in the vault, and then they come out of the vault? It might be one of those situations where next time it comes out, you feel like you have to jump on it.
Did you know that was Chapek's idea? The vault?
Was it really?
Yeah. When that was Chapek's idea when he was consumer. I forgot what role he had. It was long before he was.
When movies would go into the vault. Yeah.
When that whole idea, I was reading about this. And
it
the whole
worked.
Bob Iger thing.
It worked. When the Little Mermaid came out of the vault, you bought it.
Right.
Because you're scared when it goes away. You can't see it.
Creating scarcity, and maybe that's what they're doing with these passes. Maybe this is his new vault. Because they saw that surge. They saw that surge in sales.
If you were on the fence about getting an annual pass, and when it comes back, you might jump on it faster. There's going to be a certain percentage that's going to
I want to buy a second one.
Right.
You know? I'm like, maybe I should buy a second annual. Like, I'm kidding.
No, I know. But also, when people come to their renewal, they would usually let it go. I know I'm never going to let that renewal go now. I'm going to keep it up because I don't want it to go away.
So I don't know. I don't know that
Could be a strategy there.
And if there's any questions coming in on chat, if you're watching, Craig, go ahead and throw them in. Cast members. I took them for granted for many years. I was so busy in my mom mode of watching my kids, always harried by the demands of parenting children, that I didn't look up and appreciate those around me in the parks that make the experience so unique. I no longer do that. I let them know I appreciate them and am present and mindful with my cast member interactions and conversations. That is
100%.
a great point.
Yeah, many times the magic that we talk about at Disney
That's where it comes from.
comes from from a cast member. It's always a person that said something, did something, went a little bit out of their way that just made the whole magical place feel that much better.
And especially right after reopening.
Oh,
I'll tell you something. Those cast members, there was magic happening every 5 feet. They were incredible. And they are incredible. They are incredible. And it can be difficult for us to separate our anger and disappointment with the likes of Bob Chapek from these cast members who represent the company in their capacity but aren't responsible for any of these decisions.
yeah.
And I've always said, you can't pay them enough, you can't do enough for them.
They take a lot of abuse. Yesterday, we did a Matterport 360 of the Wilderness Lodge cabin. It'll be released at some point. But as I was there were people who got to the door and their pass didn't work. They were livid. They went to the speaker, to like where the cars come in because they didn't know where to go, and they got someone, and the person said, I'll have someone from the front desk come and let you in and we'll sort it out. The person continued to yell, I'm not coming back to the lobby. You didn't have to. They already said someone's coming. They were in that mind that they had to yell and abuse someone. And that cast member just kept his cool. And I'm sure they're not having the best day either. But they take a lot of abuse from people that just don't get it.
So what I think, this is what I've tried to do. So I'll recommend it to you. Don't just not be that douche that's screaming at a cast member. Go out of your way to be nice. Go out of your way to do just a kind word. A kind word. Think, just automatically assume that their day has been loaded with entitled douchebags. Yelling at them, berating them, demeaning them. Just assume that. And then go out of your way to be just the opposite. Unless it's Craig, and then you can go right ahead.
No, I'll agree. What you're saying is, I think, actually the preferred method. At least the method that I prefer to do with it. Because, listen, I'm also not going to sit here and say that every single cast member that works at Disney is perfect. Because the same thing goes at Universal. When I was a team leader, I had people on my team that were the exact opposite of what you wanted. It's when they showed up to work, you're like, okay, they are going to complain. They're going to cause guest issues. Not enough to get them fired, but enough that I don't want to be around them. And that's still, those people slip through the cracks. That is just a job to them. It's not something they're proud about or passionate about, and they're out there. And you know what? If they're the ones, you don't know that you're screaming at those ones. Instead, let's not scream at anyone. Just bypass them. Find someone that is going out of their way to make that magic, make it an experience, and put them on a pedestal. And that's a very healthy thing to do.
Yeah, not only that, it pays it forward where they want to do that. They want to create more magic because they're getting a positive reinforcement back. It's good all around.
Exactly. So let's see what else she says.
We got any good questions, Greg?
I mean, I don't want to give our audience any credit that they're good questions. They have questions. Are they good?
Wow.
I don't know.
Okay. You remember the douche I was just talking about a little while ago?
He's in the studio.
That's why I had to pull that out of there. No, we actually do have a couple ones that jumped out to me. This one I'm interested as well too. Jennifer asked, "Why is there such limited availability with resort hotel rooms? Are all rooms available at open resorts, or what's going on?"
To the best of my knowledge, no. They are limiting the number of rooms they are making available. Again, keep in mind that the mindset of management right now is, if we raise the price, we'll lower the crowds and still make the money we need to make. And if they're creating demand through scarcity with annual passes, and they're doing the same thing with hotel rooms, because take a look at the price of hotel rooms. You know, was talking before last month on the Marathon Show about seeing a room at the All-Star Movies for $800 a night. All-Star Movies.
Nothing at that hotel should be $800 a night.
But
I like the hotel, but not $800.
Again, Disney works off a price-yielding system. As a hotel fills up, the prices increase. Well, if instead of trying to sell 2,000 rooms, you're only trying to sell 1,000,
Price is going to go up.
and that becomes your 100% occupancy, and you sell 700 rooms, now the price of those rooms is going up and up and up and up. And the more demand there is, the higher the price is going to go. So I think that's what's going on. I don't know that for a fact, but that would be my guess. That would be my guess.
Another big topic coming up a lot is wanting to hear our thoughts on Tron, as in when's it going to open. Bouncing off of that, why does it take so long for Disney to construct something when Universal can do it a lot faster? A lot based around that and our feelings on it.
I've never understood why Universal can build an attraction in the same amount of time it takes Disney to announce one.
Unless it's a box. Like, people would say, how come it took so long to construct The Little Mermaid compared to Transformers? You know, Transformers was a box, pretty much, outside. There's stuff that has to go on outside. Not defending them, but sometimes it's not a fair comparison. But the Velocicoaster to Tron is kind of a fair comparison, especially since Tron is already plans that are made already.
I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer, other than that they're not willing to spend the money necessary to build it faster. That would be my guess.
Do you think we're going to see Tron in 2022?
No, I think 2023. What
Could
do you
be.
think?
I'm starting to not care. Like, I'm sure it's going to be a great coaster, but at the same time, too, if I want to ride some great coasters right around here, I can go to Universal, I can go to Busch Gardens, I can go to SeaWorld, I can travel out of state to other theme parks and amusement parks that have good roller
Tron
coasters.
looks kind of cool, though.
Tron does look very cool, but that being said, it's not like I love the Tron movies. I am one of those weirdos out there who actually do love them, and I can't wait for the Tron story to be continued. But I'm also like, at the end of the day, the coaster is the coaster. I'm more saying to myself, shame on me for not pushing harder to go to Shanghai and already have it experienced in my lifetime rather than just wait for it here. So it's when it opens, I can't wait to do it, but I'm not at this point. I'm not going to sit at the end of my chair just constantly waiting. I'm pushing all my excitement towards Guardians since we actually know that will be open up this summer. So I'm going to focus on that.
I'm laughing because I would agree with Craig, except my chubby ass does not have those options. You cannot fit on most of the ones at SeaWorld, and I am losing weight. I'm my lowest weight, by the way, in 30 years. But
Really?
Congratulations.
I am. I'm still going. Thank you. But I can't. It's Disney. I gotta, Tron I'll probably do well on. Guardians I know I'll fit on, so I don't have that option. I need Disney to crank it up so my chubby ass can get on a coaster. Thank you.
I can't come back from that.
But as you were talking, I was like, wow, he has options that I do not have.
Listen, yes, I am entitled in that way. Thank you.
You just went old Norma Ray on the roller coasters.
I just started to get like, I want to go to SeaWorld and go on the Manta Ray.
See, I don't ride those, so
Oh,
if it goes upside down, I ain't getting on.
See, that's why Tron's perfect for you. You're gonna glide nice with no upside down.
As long as there's no upside down, I'm good.
Same thing with Guardians. Yeah, no upside down.
What else, Craig?
While I look for another question, Shane threw out, what's the highlight for you from the Diz Family Reunion, the event that we did back in September?
Honestly, working the booth. Getting to meet so many people. It reminded me of D23. It's like my favorite thing is to like work the booth and meet everybody. That was definitely a highlight.
I was impressed with the whole event and how a lot of people, their separate egos were set aside and they were there for the actual Give Kids the World.
Yep.
I thought it was really nice.
Yep, that was important. I was really glad a lot of other sites and blogs came out. And
You saw a difference that day, yeah.
it was really cool.
Okay, our next one from Sweet Tea Show. Do you all have any predictions on what Disney's response to the opening of Epic Universe will be, especially if it's extremely successful, which I believe it absolutely will? How will Disney respond to Epic Universe? Will they respond to Epic Universe? Will they just choose to continue being Disney? Will they find something else to cut?
I think they're going to have no choice. I want to see Tragic Kingdom. If they want to put a bullet in that,
What was tragic? Like a villain's park?
a villain's theme
Yeah, I
park,
would-
Tragic Kingdom. That was what was. They were working on that idea when 9/11 happened, and it got pushed off the table.
I don't think they'd use that name. Do you?
No, that's what I call it.
I like that name though, but I don't think
Tragic
they'd use it.
Kingdom.
I think we're all going to benefit. No matter what
Well, I mean,
it is.
they're turning what we have now into the Tragic Kingdom, but
That's what,
maybe that's their strategy. Is like they're just gonna have a theme park full of, Bob Chapek as the villain themed rides.
I think it keeps Disney on their toes where we have to benefit, where they have to keep it up. Maybe another park will be announced or something, but it gives them less reason to sit back and not give us more.
Well,
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think building another park is the exact opposite way to go, unless Disney is also going to start paying people $30 an hour to come down and work it, because they can't staff the parks that they have right now as it is. And I think even once Epic Universe opens in a couple years, I still think that a lot of the same struggles are going to happen. Universal's building and expanding, but they also have the same struggles that Disney is having right now with their staffing. It is just a problem with Central Florida that we don't have enough people that want to work inside the parks for everything that's offered with it, the perks, the pay, all of that. And so, yeah, a good response would be another theme park, but at the same time, if they don't have enough people to staff it, if hours are cut at the other parks they currently have, or potential new experiences are cut, is
All
it
right.
really worth it in the long run?
let me ask this question. We all are upset with the cuts and the scaling back and the price increases, would we be okay with it if they were paying cast members $20 an hour?
Yes.
If the end results of these cutbacks and price increases was that cast members were getting a minimum of $20 an hour, would we be okay with it? You're nodding your head.
Yes, I would. But again, I'm one of those crazed fans that are going to go probably no matter what. But if I see it's going to be a benefit to me, I will shell out the extra money to do that. Yeah.
What about you, Craig?
It's also weird for me to even think about pay in that way now, just because I've been out of that world for so long. But I mean, when
We can send you back.
I don't want to go back. I'm now very comfortable thanks to you. So please don't send me back. But literally, when I left Universal, I think during my leader shifts, I was making around maybe $11 an hour. And when I started Universal, I was at $6.25. And it's the mindset of that was, if I want to live here and I want to do this as a job, I understand that I have to have roommates. I have to find cheap housing. However, cheap housing has also been very difficult to find now in Orlando too. That has gone away, which if the housing dictates that you need to make more, then I mean, I guess employers need to do more. But way back then, 10 years ago, I was okay with the lower rates because I was happy with what I was doing, and I liked that maybe it was going to give me my future. But now it's a different world. I think the pandemic has taught a lot of people to care more about their personal health and their sanity over necessarily like jobs that maybe they would have went for before and now don't care about. So I think paying more would definitely, as a fan, I would be happier with a lot of the decisions that were made if I knew they were paying their employees more adequately. But it's all bizarre.
What about
to
the
me.
chat room? What are they saying?
I'm too busy rambling and going in circles to actually see what they're saying.
That was a good rant.
Yeah. See, I absolutely would feel much better.
They're all saying yes.
They'd be willing to spend the money.
Yes.
I mean, we're already kind of spending it. Are we going to even notice the difference?
Right. No, we would. We would notice it. But
It would take one executive, like a $5 million cut, to give everybody $20 an hour.
right. I think more than that. But
I don't.
the company,
They're going to have to do what they are going to have to do to get people. Same thing with Epic Universe. They're going to have to somehow motivate people to work there.
yeah. What else we got?
Do you think the dining plan will actually come back in 2022?
No. It's not coming back. The dining plan ended up being far more trouble than it was worth for Disney. And you're going to eat regardless. So they might as well get you to pay full price than trying to because the dining plan, for it to be worth it, entices you to eat more food. And they figure you're going to eat anyway. And we're going to raise the price of that cheeseburger. I don't think we're ever going to see it again. If we do, I'll be shocked. I could be wrong. I don't have any inside info on that. But my personal feeling is we are not seeing the dining plan again.
Again, it's locals bias with it that it's been years since I've taken advantage of the dining plan. I mean, but way back in the day when we were doing 7 and 7s, every now and then, we would throw the dining plan onto it as well. So I've done it, and it is genuinely a lot of food. But I don't. If people want to prepay for their food, I don't know what that is. But if they want to prepay for their food and do that, I don't know why. Just give them the option or charge even more. Like it's one of those options that I feel like there is a price that people will not be willing to pay. So take it up to like right before you get to that line and then say, hey, we're not forcing you to do it. It's there if you want it, but it's also not there if you don't want it.
As a local and somebody who's doing this type of thing where people know you, I've had a lot of people say, "Hey, John, we're leaving, and we've got 5 meals left." And they would somehow give it to me where I could go and use it. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. So yeah, it is a lot of food. A lot of people are getting, they're forcing themselves to eat desserts or snacks or.
Oh, I always felt terrible every time my friends would come down that would have dining plan or family when it gets to the last day. Like I'm terrible about seeing my friends, and I'm trying to be better about that in this year and every year beyond that. But I always feel bad because I always made that attempt. Like, okay, you're on your last day. I know I have to see you now or you're going to leave. And that's also the day like, okay, well, we have all these credits left. Can we buy you a snack? Can we give you... Do you want a quick service meal? And it's like, no, now I just feel like you think I'm taking advantage of you. And I didn't see you the entire week because I came on the last day just so I can get all this free food out of you. That's not the way I wanted it to be. It's just the way it turned out to. But... always a big problem was having too many credits left over.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. I've experienced that same thing that you just said.
Yeah. So I don't have to feel the guilt right now. But Keith asked, did any of us visit the parks during Christmas week? Didn't seem terribly overcrowded like a normal year. Granted, this is another abnormal year, but I know, Pete, you didn't go anywhere. Yeah. Panda?
Not Christmas week, the week before. And it was pretty crowded. Still nice. I thought it looked nice, beautiful, but not the week of Christmas, which I thought it was crowded. Craig, what do you know from posts? Looked crowded.
So I was there. I recorded the parade with my sling and all on, I guess I was the 22nd. And that day, it was busy because I was at Magic Kingdom at daytime for parade. So of course that was insane, but wasn't too bad. And then I went into maybe Epcot the next day on the 23rd, and that's when I hit my cutoff point for when I was going. And it was busy, but not insane. Yesterday in the parks, I would say, we have marathon weekend coming up this week, and I'd say yesterday was busier than any days I experienced. And I went one day in between Christmas and New Year's, and it wasn't that bad. And even the 30th at Magic Kingdom, it was busy during the day from everything I was watching. I had a park pass for Magic Kingdom to try to go see the fireworks, and I had a nice meal with my family at Ohana, and I was tired. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go. But I was like looking at the crowds and seeing what people were posting. It's like there is no one there to watch the New Year's Eve fireworks. Granted, on the day before New Year's Eve, so that makes sense. But I was shocked by that, and I probably could have convinced myself. But the freakiest thing happened, and I'm still dealing with it. I was walking to Grand Floridian to try to walk off the meat sweats from Ohana, and literally as I'm walking on my way back, a guy had a heart attack right in front of me.
Oh my God.
He was dealing with it, and the poor lady, she was on the phone with the ambulance screaming, and I'm like, okay, tell them we are at the porte cochere at Grand Floridian Villas so they can get here faster. And then he collapsed, and I'm still trying to recover from that.
Wow.
It was freaking scary to see. But
I hope he was all right.
I hope so too. I'm very worried. Everyone was moving very slow in terms of getting to him.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry to bring us down with
Well,
that.
that's
Let me
wow.
find a new question.
Let's way to bring the room down.
It's clearly I'm still trying to cope with it.
I don't mean to laugh, but I like the way Craig says, and he was dealing with that.
He was having a heart attack
He was
and dealing
with it. He had no choice.
As you do.
It was good that you were there to say porte cochere, because most people would maybe not know where they,
I wouldn't know what porte cochere is without Pete, so I never knew what the name was before.
My role in life is to teach people about the porte cochere. Apparently.
So that in case a heart attack does occur, you can specifically say where you're at.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. That's going to do it, folks, for this week's show. If you are a Patreon supporter, remember, stay tuned. We'll have our Patreon after show. Take some more questions, talk about some things I can't talk about in a regular show, but I will talk about on Patreon.
I've got to let our hair down. Hold on.
Patreon.com/disunplugged. if you're interested. So thanks, folks, for being with us. Very, very happy to be back, and we will see you again next week with another episode of the Diz Unplugged. Have a great week, and remember, stay out of the damn lakes. And I'm going on my damn cruise.